With the conclusion of World War I, the United States had become a superpower, a stunning symbol of freedom that shone as a beacon of democracy for the whole world to emulate. But at home, some citizens still struggled for those basic rights outlined in America's own Constitution. For many African Americans, freedom song was still just a faint whisper. 25 years earlier, in 1895, Booker T. Washington had advocated that the best way African Americans could improve their lot was not through integration, but rather to band together to create strong, self-sufficient African American neighborhoods of their own. By 1921, one of the most impressive examples of this was the black district of Tulsa, Oklahoma called Greenwood. In Greenwood, African Americans had created a thriving metropolitan community, complete with black doctors, lawyers, bankers, and other professionals. Greenwood was the pride of black America, and to some white Tulsa residents, a source of embarrassment and envy.
We look back to Tulsa, where in the 1920s, African Americans had accomplished a tremendous amount in terms of entrepreneurship, other types of businesses, professions, medicine, dentistry. This was a viable and thriving, predominantly black-owned business district in a major city in the United States. And it presented a threat.
The Tulsa community of Oklahoma is a fairly affluent black community. And you had this portion where black Americans are doing very well. And there are segments of the white population who did not like this.
As the success of Tulsa's black district grew, so did the underlying resentment among the white community. This resentment seethed under the surface, waiting for the right event to set the wheels of rage into motion. That moment came in late spring 1921.
And so in February 1921, my mother and father decided that he should go to Tulsa, where he could perhaps make a living practicing law. My father went on to Tulsa, and he would bring us there at the end of the school term. So we were all packed and ready to go. And he was to come for us and escort us to Tulsa. We were waiting for him to come, and he didn't come. And he didn't come. And he didn't come.
On May 30th, 1921, Dick Rowland, a 19-year-old black shoeshine man, stepped into the elevator operated by a white 17-year-old girl named Sarah Page. As Rowland entered the elevator, he tripped over Page's shoe. In an attempt to regain his balance, he reached out and grabbed for her arm. Surprised, Page let out a scream that alerted nearby businessmen. A frightened Rowland ran from the elevator. This innocent event was the spark that ignited the most gruesome race riot in American history.
When modern people think of a race riot, they think of the LA riots or the Cincinnati riots that happened, where beleaguered black classes would take out in the street and start looting and burning. What race riots for most of the 20th century was white thugs going into black communities and indiscriminately clubbing black people, killing black people.
Rowland was quickly arrested and taken to the courthouse for a trial. A crowd of over 2,000 whites surrounded the courthouse, demanding that he be handed over to them for lynching. A small contingent of about 25 African American men arrived at the courthouse to offer their assistance to the sheriff. A scuffle ensued. A shot was fired. And the angry white mob turned their attention away from lynching Dick Rowland to killing any and all African Americans they could find and destroying the Greenwood district.
They had commandeered planes in that city and dropped bombs on what they called the Black Wallstreet there in a place called Tulsa, Oklahoma. This whole idea that because people made money, that they called it a Black Wall Street, and they also dropped bombs in particular in that particular place. And about 70 people or more were killed.
My father said that he saw the bombs being dropped from planes over the black section of the town. You know, it was not very long after World War I, and there was this sort of use of aircraft to invade the areas of town that otherwise might not be reached.
After the bombs, an estimated 10,000 white rioters descended upon Greenwood. The armed whites broke into the black homes and businesses, forcing the occupants out into the street, where they were led away at gunpoint to one of the growing number of internment centers. Anyone who resisted was shot. Next, the whites looted the homes and businesses, pocketing small